Greetings. This is the Grumpy Old Slan, and with me, as always, is the Intellectual Quandary. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Greetings. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
You recovered
Uh,
from Saturday?
yeah, I did. So what did we do Saturday? Well, I got to play Call of Cthulhu, and you got to run Call of Cthulhu for the first time.
For
In
the
fact, you got
first
to
time
run a
ever.
game for the first
Yeah.
time. So,
Not just first Call of Cthulhu, first anything.
yeah. So, did you enjoy the experience?
Yes, it was very enlightening to be on the other side of the coin for once and to see how it is when you're the one in control and you're the one presenting rather than one interacting.
Hmm. In control might not be the right words, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
Presenting is, yeah.
Presenting is a good word, though. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, well, it's not that I didn't enjoy it, it's that it's a different type of enjoyment.
Yes.
Like
Yes. That.
instead of interacting and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm glad I said that," I just present the scenario and just sit back and let you guys do what you want.
Yeah.
And you
So.
guys threw curveballs at me, I will
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But from the various feedbacks that I've had, apparently I dealt with it well. So
Hmm. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I'm hoping you like it enough to repeat it at some point soon. But
depending
meanwhile,
on any future adventures and
hmm,
whether they take my fancy or not,
yeah.
I may well do. But for the time being, at least I know I've got one that I can run under my
Hmm.
belt.
Yeah.
And in the future, if I come across any scenarios that I think, oh yeah, I might give that a try, then yeah. But for the most part, yeah, let's stick to being a player.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
So let's start. Today we'll be reading Le Pays des Songes, The Land of Dreams, which is the second book, the sequel to um, the book we read 2 weeks ago. Sorry.
Oui, le bande dessinée.
Yeah. Which was the Season of Ashes, and we will continue with the adventures of our heroes. But let's see. So this is the cover. Um, they're clearly in a strange place. So let's get into it. Again, I've put the back cover next, and I did translate the text just to get us in the mood.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Finally, exhausted and hurt, Norin, Furfin, and Morkai are on the final leg of their senseless quest, one littered with bodies that they started quite long ago. For before them is the land of dreams, a magical, if unpredictable place where even time follows different rules. There, in this country teeming with its own life, is hidden the identity of the new dwarven king. But the three travelers ignore that on the chessboard that is their world, even kings are merely pawns for powers that ready themselves for their ultimate fight. So, bit of an ominous intro. So let's start.
So we
Uh,
left off last time and we spoke
yeah,
I think it was Furfin spoke to the oh what was it? That entity thing.
yeah. I forgot his name now, but yeah, the
We
three-headed
thought it was
entity.
the name of a place, but it was
Yeah,
actually the entity's name.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll find the name. I'm sure we'll come across it shortly. Right now, it's escaping me. Um, but yeah, and they were heading. They were told to go towards the land of dreams, uh, because time is of the essence. And
Oui,
so
allons-y.
yeah, so we have a nice title page as usual, and here we start. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
What a page to start on.
yeah. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, here we go. So we have, this is the area, we you might not recognize it, but this is the area where the three-headed entity is staying, and now it's rising out of the water, screaming something. Just
Yep, as they do.
Yeah. And we see also in the water Hurl, the Thunder Knight.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. And he is greeted, and here you are, Hurl, master of the Thunder Knights. I've waited for you for a long time. Killer of powers. Um, the valets, uh, I forgot the word now. The person who helps a knight is what's it called?
Oh,
Uh,
Squire.
the Squire of Sin.
Oh, oui, Chevalier.
Yeah. And the Hurl just says he's not here to listen to your words, old Ewandor. That was the name we were looking for.
That was it. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And Ewandor responds, you're here to kill me, but perhaps you're presumptuous. Our combat could last many seasons without you being a victor. You don't know my power. And one of the interesting things is every time he speaks, and we didn't know, I didn't mention this last time, but it's always because there's three heads. There's always
Three
uh,
voices of like
three
slightly different
voices.
tones.
Yeah, but they follow each other's ideas because it's still one being.
So kind of like Cerberus but of the sea.
Yeah,
Yep.
or of the swamp maybe.
Or of the yeah, okay, yep.
Yeah, and Hurl just responds that no, and it doesn't concern me. Is his power, and now. Come and face the anger of my master, Sin. And the combat starts. And we see
Roll for
some.
initiative.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we see these spiky branches or something come out of the water and get slashed down by the sword. And now things start to happen. Water spouts hit the knight and his mount, right? So clearly, Ewandor has spellcasting like abilities.
Seems that way.
And we cut to sunnier climes. And we join our two characters. And Furfin asks Norin if dwarves always have the same bad character as you. And Norin answers, no, only when they have to endure people like you.
Yeah, that's what
So
I
they're,
thought was coming.
yeah. So clearly they're taunting each other.
They're becoming best friends. That's what best
Yeah,
friends do.
yeah. And Furfin tells him, Ewandor told you I'm the only friend you have left to complete your mission. Trust the power to know destiny. And Norin just says, the only destiny that interests you is that my king gives you 100 times your weight in red salts. A reminder for people who weren't there 2 weeks ago, salts is the uh, currency in this world. And of course, this is only if they find his king.
Yeah, they really took that phrase, worth your weight in salt to
Yeah. But they're also red salt. So clearly there's different colors. So they're worth more or less.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And to which Furfin just thinks, don't worry, Norin. We'll find him. And they're camping. It's night. Footsteps approach. Looks like Norin was maybe sleeping and Furfin's waking him up. And they're ready to face whoever's coming. And it is none other than Mordecai, who just tells him how happy it is he is to find his little master. And while Norin exclaims like, "Oh my God, you're not dead," Furfin just thinks he managed to survive the elixir and his wounds. Like, what is this? This guy is quite tough. And Mordecai, as Coco said, uh, low intelligence, high wisdom. And Mordecai just says, Mordecai doesn't understand. He woke up with the goblins all dead and followed the tracks of the little master. He met the three big heads that said funny things to him, and then he ran because a great storm was coming on the three big heads, and the literal words, he doesn't say great big storm, he says a great boom broom. So
Okay.
like great thunder is
Yeah.
coming on the three big heads. And Furfin asked the, big boom boom, you mean like thunder in the domain of Ewandor? And Mordecai tells him, yes, come and look. And they climb up the hill and they see in the
Hey,
distance.
Justin.
Greetings, Justin. And they see in the distance the thunderstorm, which they recognize for having seen it before as being Hurl. And Mordecai just says, Hurl is too strong for the three big heads, and sort of laughs. Yeah.
How does he know that?
Well, I mean, people seem to know of him. He is like a minor power, so it's kind of like the way people would know how strong Hercules is or something in this world,
Okay.
right?
Makes
That's how
sense.
I've interpreted it. And Furfin mentions that it's getting cloudier, and they should maybe get on their way quickly. While Norin just wonders, Hurl and Ewandor, how does this all fit together? And Furfin tells him that he has the feeling that his king doesn't just interest the dwarves. What do you think? And Norin just responds, nothing. All thought is disagreeable these days. So yeah, I mean, it's just... And Mordecai asks where the other small masters are, his friends, right? Norin doesn't take too kindly to this. Mordecai sort of feels he maybe said something. Yes, what did I say wrong? And Furfin sort of tries to mediate the situation, telling Norin, don't resent him. He remembers nothing. He is strong and will be useful where we're going. And Norin just walks on, not very happy. To which Mordecai tells Furfin, Mordecai never knows anything. Mordecai has no friends. And he's told yeah. And Furfin just tells him to be quiet, which I think is the right move in this circumstance.
Yeah, you know why you don't have any friends, Mordecai?
Yeah.
Because you keep killing everyone.
Yeah. And now we cut to another location, which is the Tower of Sin. We see it here on the left-hand panel. We see the goblins come back with their prisoners and looking a little bit apprehensive. Jeff, the leader of the goblins, says that he is back. Your loyal servant is back. And Sin just asks him, loyal, and your mission? And the goblin just tells him, the dwarves fought well. My goblins could do nothing. And who is their leader? The goblin says, me, master, me. Would you be a bad leader? In which case you would be useless to me. The goblin asks for pity, And let's see if it's granted. Yeah, he asks for pity, and Sin just says, "Pity. What a strange and luxurious sentiment. Pity." And he throws him onto the spiked
Oh,
thing. And what you might not notice is over here, he turns over an hourglass.
right.
And as the blood, as the screams end, the hourglass isn't quite finished. The sand in the hourglass isn't quite finished going through. And Sin comments that a real goblin chief knows how to hold out an entire hourglass to the torture he was just given.
Wow.
Oh, but I
Okay.
forgot. But I was about to forget my two guests, Aaron and Merlin. And that's so as a reminder, Aaron is one of the three dwarves that a former companion of Norin, and Merlin is Furfin's brother.
Yep.
So
The one that started like tailing him.
yeah, exactly, because he was smelling some good income somewhere.
Yep.
And he tells him to come to me. Clearly, this is a power, so they can float up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come, my toys. Don't be afraid. And as Aaron tries to speak, Sin just tells him, "Are you having difficulty expressing yourself? But to say what?" And he lets go of him, and Aaron asks him what he wants. Sin just asks him, "But talk. I want to simply talk. Of you, of Merlin, of me, of those that aren't here. Ah, you breathe very loudly. Perhaps you're having difficulty. Um, Perhaps somebody's doing something for you. People did things to me, many things.
Oh.
And someone killed, stole what I had most precious." And here we see my companion, Ine, assassinated, uh, despoiled of her most precious belonging, her life. And then he addresses Merlin and says, "And you, have you ever stolen feelings to people?" And Merlin says, "No, only salts." Yeah. And Sindra says, "Oh, yeah, nothing precious except for those of your race." And is there something more precious for a dwarf? Aaron, tell me, a king, maybe? You don't know? Ah, you seem to have been kept in ignorance, like all of your race. Sad toys of malignant powers. And then he tells him, "Look at me, Aaron. Let your tongue do the work and inform my suspicions." And then he asks the dwarf, "In your countries, is there a sacred place or a damned place where it is forbidden to go?" And Aaron just says, "Yes, the Mount of the Sea, which is a sacred mountain where no dwarf can dig."
Right.
When asked why, he says it's a great secret that only the dwarven king and the council knows. And Sin just states he knows enough now, little guardian of my misery. Uh, but secrets have their time, and only the time we give them. And now we cut back to Hurl and Ewandor fighting as the combat keeps going.
I'm assuming Mordecai saw this like when he was making his
Well,
way towards them, or maybe saw the beginnings of it.
yeah, well, he said that he saw the arrival of Hurl as he
Yeah,
was leaving. So presumably he was far enough for Hurl not to see him.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, Sin then mentions that Ewandor maybe needed another head to think of that secrets have their time. An extra head, a head less. And he says, let's weave your destinies. Aaron, you will be king. Merlin, you will be his second. And you will need to bring back to me a precious object. Let me explain. So we don't know what it's going to be because we cut again back to Norin, Furfin, and Morkai.
Mm-hmm.
And Furfin asks for a break. They walked all night and he's exhausted. And Norin just says, no, not before we've reached. And could this be the land of dreams? Yeah, the land of dreams. And Norin just says, is the North just always this delirious? And Mordecai asks the obvious question is, how do we do to go down there? And Norin has a bad feeling. He feels that you you will meet madness and sadness here.
Okay.
And Furfin just tells him, "Oh, then your king is mad, and we better not find him." Norin tells him not to insult his king, and and for once, Mordecai seems to know how to think. How are we going to go down this cliff? And where will we go once we're at the bottom? And
My God, he's using his brain.
Yeah. And Furfin goes, the seed that Ewandor gave you that should guide us once we've arrived in the land of dreams. And so Norin pulls out the seed and he goes, I don't know how this seed could be useful. Ewandor must be pulling a prank on us. And Furfin asks if maybe it should be opened. And Mordecai grabs it, saying he knows seeds are meant to be planted.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, but...
He's not wrong. And now he's finished planting it, tapping the earth on top. Furfin goes, yeah, now we just have to wait for it to grow. But maybe the wait won't be quite as long as they expect.
Right.
Something seems to happen. A little cloud appears. It rains on it. And some strange plant
Specifically
grows
on
out.
that one area.
Yeah. And this plant comes out, seems to grab the three.
That looks like a Venus flytrap, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, eh? Like one of those carnivorous plants. Or you know what makes what it reminds me of this shape is have you ever seen Little Shop of Horrors?
No, but I know of it.
Yeah, so the plant in it, like the way it has this big mount. But yeah, looks like a carnivorous plant. Mordecai's tough to capture, but the other two clearly got caught more quickly. And now the plant actually moves and goes down and floats down into the land of dreams. Splashes in the water. And opens up to show our three protagonists maybe slightly changed by their by the plant, by the magic of it.
Hmm.
And first thing Furfin says is how Norrin has lost his beard. What
That's
a
the first
silly
thing that I
dwarf.
noticed by looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
He's no longer a dwarf.
yeah.
He's lost his manlyhood.
Yeah. And Mordecai pulls him down the water and Furfin teases him. And Mordecai decides to play with the big plant. And
Of course
Furfin
he does.
says, "No, I saw it first." And Norrin just goes, "It's my plant. It was my seed that was given to me." And so they argue about whose plant it is. And Mordecai is, even as children, is the strongest. So he gets to the plant. And,
Of course.
you know, uh, Mordecai then claims he is now the leader and you have to obey him. And he says,
Oh
"Go
no.
go get food for Mordecai."
Oh
And the
no.
and then the plant just plugs him in the water. Of course, both the dwarf and Norrin and Furfin laugh at this.
Yep.
And
Oh dear.
then the plant blows pollen, I guess, onto them.
Ooh.
And they sort of look at each other. And now they stop talking like children. But they're wondering what happened. How come we are children? And they presume it's because of the plant. Its pollen gave us back our minds, but why did it make children of us?
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, look for Finn. It looks like she wants us to ride her. And now we cut to a strange castle in the sky type construction. We hear two voices. Questions, too many for them. Question, I am. Answers, only one for them. Answer, I am.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Have we gone into Bloodborne or something? What's going on here?
Yeah. But why not three dwarves like usual? The other two, I don't like this. They have nothing to do here. Dangerous, dangerous. Yes, I sense Ewandor in danger. Not normal, not normal. I sense evil. I'm afraid. Do you love me? Yes, I love you.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Furfin asks Norrin if he thinks the plant will guide them to the king. No, Norrin asks Furfin if he thinks the plant will guide you to the king, and Furfin just asks, yes, it's a king-seeking plant.
Well, it says it on the tin, so...
Yeah, exactly. And Norrin just, says, you're always making fun, but I'm worried about the king I need to find. And Furfin mentions that he knows at least one person who's not very worried, and looking back at Mordecai. And Norrin just says Mordecai is crazy. He is a brainless killer. And Furfin just tell him, you can't you can't blame him. He likes to fight. That's all he knows. And you see Mordecai being Mordecai. And we have another one of those little poems, which I took the time to translate. So, a strange country, this land of dreams. Child, be reborn. Child, live your dream. Look at your thoughts. They are masked. Behind the mask, a truth. Clever chance makes up your fate. Further on, 'tis said, a dwarf is king. So, and we have a strange construction. They're still moving around. And I don't know how well you can see it on the screen, but there's like rays of light here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And as Mordecai crosses it, he is stuck in them. And as they ask what's happening, he says he's stuck. And they wonder, like, what did you do now? And they're trying to pull him out. And a voice tells him that one doesn't escape so easily from a web of moonlight weaved by Tutin, little nocturnal visitors.
Oh no.
Yeah. Little prey, little hunger. I must know how to be content with it. And Mordecai's screaming for help. And Furfin asks, don't eat our friend. We'll give you everything you want. And the spider just says, oh yeah? And what could you possibly offer me?
Mm.
They look at each other and they just, well, what do you want? And her answer is, to eat.
Yep.
And as Mordecai is screaming and is about to be bitten into, another voice tells the spider to stop. And she asks, what do you want, Ajax? You're disturbing my meal. As this strange dragon arrives. And I'm not just going to disturb it, I'm going to ruin it entirely. You cannot eat this child. And the spider asks, and since when do dragons decide for moon spiders what they're going to eat? And the dragon says, well, I would have eaten him myself, but Jube doesn't want to. Jube, you say that because you want him as king. Dragons are all liars. No, you want him, you want him for yourself. Dragons are all liars. And Ajax just says, are you opposing yourself to me? This would be your last choice.
Yeah, who do you think's going to win in a fight? A giant spider or a dragon?
Yeah. This meal is mine. I hate you. Damn be you and all those of your race of tyrants. Go weave your web on your own, you old fool. And then the dragon will pull Mordecai out of the moon web, telling him, you little bastard, you don't deserve the tattoo you have. And you'll notice on his shoulder he has the head of a dragon, and that was one of the things that the slave dealer had boasted about him having. It's a mark of a good fighter of some sort.
Yep.
And Furfin tries to give thanks to the dragon, and the dragon just say, "Oh, don't thank me. I don't want any of you any good. But Jube, my master, has his reasons. Goodbye. I hope to never see you again."
Well, that's very friendly.
And he flies off. Yeah. And then Norin asks, Furfin, yes, have you ever seen a spider talk? And Furfin just goes, no. And you, have you seen a dragon speak to a spider? And Norin just goes, no. And you go like, God damn it. let's just quickly find Raken and get out of this land.
Yeah.
And then Mordecai just says, Mordecai thinks maybe Spider eat your king, maybe. To which he's told to shut up.
Yeah.
Well, he has a point. And we go
Mordecai.
back to the fight. And we see Ewandor has at least one head down, one up. And he says, "Don't kill me. This would be your worst mistake." And Hurl just tells him to die silently, old Ewandor. It's too late for you to ask for mercy.
Okay.
You know, have the fate of the weak. And then he kills him. But clearly, he did fight hard because the mount is pretty badly hurt.
Pretty messed up,
and,
yeah.
We don't see anything, any wounds on Hurl, but maybe he does have some. It's hard to say.
Yeah, maybe he's not like, he doesn't take blood wounds, but...
Yeah, and he does have armor, so...
Yeah. Maybe underneath all, he's hurt
he might
like
be
hell.
bruised or something. And then he calls out to Sin, hoping that the death of Ewandor will appease his torment somewhat. And he asks for Sin to guide the path of his servant. And then we hear clearly Sin is in the clouds. And somehow a message gets to Hurl, and he says, "It shall be done as you desire."
Mm.
And then high in the clouds is the house of the master of the land of dreams. We can see that castle we saw up close earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hear the same voices, and by the spider we should have let them be eaten. You shouldn't have saved them. You're crazy. Ewandor would have destroyed them if they had been a problem. The dwarf we must protect like we always have. The others. Do you believe our complicity with Ewandor was discovered? We should hope not. You know what that would mean. I'm afraid. Should we contact Ewandor? Something isn't right. The answer is no. The unnameable probably spies on him. His hate would then turn on us. But look, they wake up. Yes, a new age is starting for them. And we go back to the surface. And here we find that they have aged overnight.
Oh.
So we see Norin is starting to have a beard again.
Yeah.
They're taller than they were. Furfin comments that the night doesn't just bring rest here. Mordecai is happy. He's even stronger. And then he claims that he hears giggles. Little laughs is what he calls them.
Okay.
So they head towards it. And they find nymphs.
Hmm.
And Mordecai just says he wants her.
Of course he does.
Norin asks what Mordecai's doing, to which Furfin says, "Well, what do you think?" And tells him, "Come along." And we hear again the voice of Jube, presumably, the dwarf just failed to resist temptation. It's the fault of the two others. They are they're interfering with the trials. If it had been three dwarves, Norin would have resisted. How can we trust our secret to a dwarf who fails to resist temptation? Yes, and this one from the others is different. I don't like it. And then we hear Norin say that, well, for him it was the first time. And now in the lands where no one goes, the cursed lands, we see Hurl drag one of Ewandor's heads into a cave, reaching Sin. This goes, I bring back to you one of Ewandor's heads as ordered. And he's given thanks. And Hurl says, I was also supposed to kill the Lin and the dwarf, the remaining dwarf. Why did you call me back? And Sin just tells him, my little spies will take care of it. They are in the land of dreams. This big stupid lizard and scaredy cat that Juba is must protect them, I imagine. And he is powerful in his land. But we have more urgent things to do. Look, Aaron and Merlin, my good friends, come. And now we see both Aaron and Merlin. And Sin tells Hurls, like, look at my toys, aren't they nice? And Hurl says, I believe I understand your plan. And Sin tells him, you have to execute them and go to the east, to the land of the dwarves. I want Aaron to be the new king, and I want him to be crowned without a problem. And Hurl asks, does he know what he must do to cover you in glory? And Sin says yes, but Aaron's intelligence has limits, and his friend Merlin is there to make sure he does what he must. Now go.
Okay.
The trip is long, and you must take care of them. They don't have your power. And then he addresses Ewandor, and he goes, as for you, you will be alive again in order to better enjoy your death.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, death for who despoils life, a little life, a lot of death, a little trouble, a lot of remorse for Ewandor. Hello, Ewandor. I allowed myself to invite you. I didn't have any news of you for so long. I was worried. Intrigued and vexed when you learned that to my company you preferred those of dwarves. You, a power. Huh. But you're not saying anything. The emotion of seeing Ine, probably. Does your crime scare you? But don't worry, Ine shall soon be back with us to thank you. And Ewandor clearly has gone back to life because he answers, you're wrong, Sin, the fool. For you, Ine is forever dead, as your dreams of power. And Sin just tells him, I don't like your discourse. It is arrogant, and you will suffer a lot now. And Ewandor tells him, you can make me suffer, but you will never take away the joy I had to kill your companion. And you forget
Nice.
Jube. He is one of your enemies. And Sin just tells him, I'm not forgetting him, old Ewandor. I suspected he was part of the plot. Why did you why did you ally yourself with that reptilian idiot? Your foolishness and your hate make you underestimate Jube. And Sin tells him he underestimates no one, old Ewandor. I am the most powerful.
I don't underestimate anyone. I'm just the most powerful.
Yeah, I know. And now we see this weird cloud. And
that's great. I love that.
yeah. Well, if you're a power, I guess you do become kind of arrogant about it.
Yeah.
And now we see Jube itself. This time, no doubt is allowed. The unnameable knows. Quickly, we must act quickly. I'm afraid, my love. What should we do? Of a certain debt, these three fools we must first save, and then we'll think. I love you. Me too. They're nothing for us. Why must we save them? Let's leave them to their fate and the anger of sin, and flee. And no, if Ewandor sent them to us, it's because he wanted the secret prolonged. It's his idea, after all. We never should have trusted Ewandor. He is as crazy as sin. We cut back to our three heroes with the nymphs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a cloud of creatures, and the Mordecai's wondering what it is, and he says he'll kill it. And Furfin just tells him, "We've got to run quickly." Apologies. And Mordecai just tries to fight like crazy. This swarm of little creatures.
That's all he knows.
Yeah, that's all he knows. Kill, kill, kill. And then some other little creatures come and fight the first swarm and grab Norin and the others and fly them away. And Mordecai's like, "You goddamn bugs, let me go. I'm going to kill you all." And Furfin's only thought is, if I ever get out of this, ...
Yep.
And then they're dropped into a lake of some sort. And Norin wonders what game is being played with them. And Furfin just says, "A game where there are some winners, I hope. Curse the day where you told me of your king." And Mordecai says he recognized the little creatures. He fought before again. They fought with the goblins. Damned be Ewandor. It is to him that we owe being here. What strings is he pulling? And Furfin reminds him that Ewandor might very well be dead at the moment. Remember, Hurl visited him.
Mm-hmm.
And Norn makes a point. How do you know they're not friends?
Good point. Yeah.
And Mordecai just says, "Little masters never listened to me." Which is true. He has a point, when he says he recognizes them because they fought with the goblins. That's important information. And we get older by the hour. What a sinister joke. And Mordecai asks where the big plant is, and Furfin says, "We don't need it, you stupid Akei. These little creatures will replace it." And Mordecai does what he knows. He's just angry, I
Yeah.
guess. Doesn't like being flown about. And then we say, at the dusk of his life, the dwarf will be his destiny in the secret. Do you think he'll accept? He has no choice. The dwarves never had any. Yes, but this one's not as docile as his predecessors. Predecessors? Kind of word.
Predecessors, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm seeing predecessor written in French, so it screws up with my pronunciation.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Um, but something in him is broken. The truth we will have to tell him. Yes, and I sense that we'll still have to help him. Sin weaved his vengeance. I believe Ewandor to be dead. Oh my love, I'm scared. And if we uh, deliver the dwarf to Sin and help him recuperate his possession, perhaps he'd forgive us. And the answer is, fool! This proposal is senseless. Sin will never forgive. Our past is too heavy, our present worrisome, and our future. No, wait. Our past is too heavy, our present worrisome, our future. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Consider it is because of love that I suggested this. I regret our crime so much. You must not. At the time, between powers, our joy was great. Well, you know where this led us. Yes. And now we go back down to the land of dreams, where our heroes are.
A lot of toing and froing in this one, isn't there?
A lot of what?
Like changing between scenes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, a lot more. But the plot has thickened, right? We discovered more about what was happening.
Indeed.
Indeed. And that for some reason. Okay. That will have us if we sleep again. I regret having listened to the crazy promises of Ewandor. I'll never see my 100 times my weight in salts. Your king doesn't exist. When will you understand that in your dwarven head? What are you looking for in this ruined city? And Norin just tell him, a king. I have no other choice. And Mordecai just says, Mordecai follows little master. Oh, he's loyal. And much later, we see them, and Furfin is there like, must not sleep. I must not sleep. I don't want to die.
Well, at least it started them out as kids, so it gave them a bit of time, at least.
Yeah. Near the end of the life, the dwarf is. Yeah. Old with a past that we will give him. Already he is moving towards death. Only he can move forward. His destiny now. We must go and reveal it to him. And they're quite old. And Mordecai says he doesn't want to die old. He wants a last combat. He's an Akei. Mordecai Akei, not die old. Little master, don't abandon Mordecai. And Furfin in the back goes, leave him to his folly. And we see Norin climb up these stairs. A very old Norin, literally at the end of his life. And when he climbs the stairs, this is what he sees. Jude the dragon welcomes him. Welcome, Norin. You come from so far. Take your place, Norin. Rest. Take the middle seat. I believe I know your thoughts. You're asking where your king is. Norn asks, yes, where is he? Where is he? Nature has given you a hard head. There is a king here. He doesn't know it, but knowledge shall flood him when he'll know how to look. And a crown gets put on his head. And the dragon tells him, don't be afraid. It is not hard to reign. Your reason must not vacillate. And now an old story I need to tell you, and a heavy secret to entrust you. And this is the end. And the third book will finish the tale. And we'll do that next week, if that works for you.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. So Norin will become the king. There is no Rakan.
He was the king all along.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. So, what do you think so far?
I'm really enjoying this, mate.
Yeah.
It's the artwork is amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's I've read this many times, and I'm reading it fast. When I read it alone, I sometimes just look at, I can look at a page for minutes on end. It's one of those bande dessinées where both the artwork is superb, but the storytelling, the script, the writing is also great. So, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, it has a lot going for it, and it's got a good humor as well, which I appreciate.
Yeah. And there's some horror. There's a bit of horror elements, like that giant spider could be pretty horrible, like that. Rays of moonlight trap you in its web. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. If you're a little kid reading that who's afraid of spiders.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the powers, we think Sin is the evil, big bad evil guy, but clearly the powers that we thought were more aligned with good aren't so good either. They did something.
Everybody has their own agenda, it seems.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes this story quite interesting, and I think that's why you have to cut from one place to another. But the pace is faster because, like you said, at first we were just, we'd be following Furfin and the three dwarves, and
the story's been established at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good way to get the story to move along, is to increase the pace.
Well, yeah, they're getting into the thick of it, aren't they? So
yeah. So I think we're gonna call it.
Go on. We'll wait 2 hours, so it's been an hour. 2 minutes, so it's been an hour.
Yeah, we could always do that.
But yeah, no, I've been enjoying this. Sorry for missing last week.
You know what? It's really not a big deal. It was actually quite convenient in the end. So I got to spend an hour shoveling snow, only to find out the next day it was all for naught, as the snowplow just shoved all the snow back next to my car.
Hashtag Canadian problems.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's crazy? It's been a week and they still haven't cleared the snow from my street. In fact, we've never had it. Like, normally they'll wait a day or two, because what happens is when there's a big snowfall, all the plows have to go out. I think it's once there's more than 2 centimeters, they have to push the snow aside so that it's safe to drive.
Yep.
And they'll do it till all the streets are cleared. But then they'll take the guys need to sleep, they need to rest. And so sometimes it'll be like a 24-hour period where not much happens. And then they're going to start clearing the streets. And it usually takes about 3 to 4 nights. They do it overnight here. Some places they do it during the day. But it takes 3-4 nights and they've cleared it all. And they've had a whole week. And everywhere, like near where I work, they cleared one side of the street. And it's a fairly busy street. They didn't clear my street at all because it's a dead end. But the cross street, which is a quite busy street, they only cleared one side Friday night. And then Saturday night, there's another really busy street, 2 blocks down, and they cleared one side of that, and I don't understand what they're doing. However, temperature rose above zero today, and it was raining as I got home, and so this will reduce the amount of snow, but a lot of the snow is blocking the sewer uh, entrances.
Oh,
So
right.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid we're going to have streets that are going to be a nice big lake tomorrow. And once the temperature goes back down below zero, we'll have a nice skating rink. So I'm hoping they're not going to clear anything tonight in this area.
Well, good thing
So,
I can ice skate to a decent extent.
yeah, but the problem becomes the cars. People
Yeah.
driving on the ice. Like, you can drive on ice, but you got to be slow, careful, etc. So we will see. I'll just be careful once it freezes. We're going to have above zero temperatures tomorrow, and then it should go below zero, at least overnight. I'm hoping a lot of the snow will melt enough that the water can drain away.
Fair.
Anyway, yeah, hashtag Canadian problem. There we go. Okay, so let's call it. Thank you, everyone who dropped by to give it a listen. Hope you
Cheers,
all
guys.
enjoyed it. Take care.
Good night.